holding on Daf Yod Amud Bet. Okay. So we're holding on Daf Yod Amud Bet where it says we have a big machloket Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. It's the third, fourth line. Amar le Reish Lakish le Rabbi Yochanan. The fourth line on Daf Yod Amud Bet. So Amar le Reish Lakish le Rabbi Yochanan. So Reish Lakish said to Rabbi Yochanan, Le Levi Damar Dei Nami Katani Lidni Acholetz Levimto v'Chazar v'Kitsha v'Met. So according to Levi, we mentioned before, Levi says a case of Dei. Okay, Dei means that a person, Levi will put in our Mishnah a case where a person is being over something. A person is doing something wrong. Because he put in Imo where the father either raped his daughter-in-law or the son married his father's ex-wife. Someone did something wrong, and Levi put it in the Mishnah. So Levi added a 16th case, which was his mother. So Reish Lakish wants to know what's with the following case. That somebody who was choletz levimto, he did chalitza. So again, the case is you have a few brothers. I wonder if there's a picture for this. Doesn't look like it, but okay. So he did chalitza to his brother-in-law, to his his sister-in-law, and v'chazar v'kitsha, and then he went and did kiddushin after. So let's just assume. Let's go with this case, okay? So you have these four brothers here: Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So Reuven, he died, and Rachel was his wife. Now let's say this guy Shimon, he did chalitza. He did chalitza to this woman. And then afterwards, he decided, you know what, I changed my mind. I want to marry her. Now there's an isur. You're not allowed to do that. After chalitza, he cannot marry. We learn from a pasuk. It says, "Kacha yaseh leish asher lo yivneh et beit aviv." So it says, "Asher lo yivneh kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivneh." It's a drasha that's going to come up much later in the Masechet. But the point is that it's asur. So this guy, he did the isur. He gave chalitza to this woman, and then he married her. So Reish Lakish wants to say this also should be in a case. This also should be a case of one of the arayot in our Mishnah, because this woman, the wife of the first guy, the wife of Reuven, this woman, once she gets chalitza, she, according to the way Reish Lakish is going to understand, she becomes asura on all the brothers, at least the two remaining brothers. She becomes an erva on them.
Like if somebody divorces his wife, the brother cannot come and marry them.
Exactly. If Reuven were to divorce his wife, this woman would be an eshet ach. A brother cannot marry her. So this guy gave chalitza. The brothers cannot marry her. She's considered an eshet ach shelo bimkom mitzvah. She's considered the wife of his brother in a case where yibum doesn't apply, and therefore she's an erva. And she makes it that all of them are going to be asurot. So the Gemara says, so according to Levi, Lidni hacholetz levim tov v'chazar v'kitsha v'met belo banim. Demigo deihi asura tzarata nami asura. She also, the same way that this woman cannot do yibum, because once she got chalitza, she is asura and she cannot do yibum. So too, the co-wife, the other wife, cannot do yibum, right? So again, just to clarify, the case is Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda are brothers. Reuven had a wife. Reuven died. Shimon did chalitza to her. Then Shimon turned around and he married her. So Shimon has two wives now. He has this wife that he did chalitza to, and he has a different wife
that he had before.
And then Shimon dies. So we say to the third brother Levi and Yehuda, there's no yibum. Why? Because that first woman that got chalitza, she's an erva on them. And the same way that she's an erva, her co-wife also is pitura from yibum. So Amarle, so Rabbi Yochanan asked him, you want to know why this is not in the Mishnah? Lefisha ena betzara tzara. Because you can't have a case where there's a co-wife of a co-wife. Why? Because in this situation, this woman Rachel was the erva, because she had chalitza done to her, and she married Shimon. This woman, Shimon's other wife is the tsarat erva, the co-wife of the erva, who's also asura. Now, none of them can marry the third brother to make a tsarat tzara, because they're asura on all the brothers. The only case of tsarat tzara is when there's an erva to a specific brother who's not an erva to the other brothers. In this case, this woman who got chalitza reverts to being an eshet ach. She reverts to the isur of being a brother's wife, and she's an erva on all the brothers, not on any specific brother. Since she's an erva to all the brothers, then you can't have a case where she marries one of the brothers and then infects the other co-wife.
When he did Chalisa, that means everything is cancelled. Yevam is not placed there anymore.
Okay, so we have to really see, it's tough because the Gemara, we have to really see the machloket that's going to be brought in a few lines. There's going to be a big machloket, Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. What's the status of a woman who got chalitza to the other brothers? Is it just an isur that, once he did chalitza, he's not allowed to be with her anymore? Or, but what's the, is she an erva to the brothers or no? Let's go a little bit further, and then it's going to become a little bit more clear. Right now, the assumption is that she's an erva to the brothers. Once she gets chalitza, she becomes the erva of eshet ach, of brother's wife. It's the same way as marrying the wife of the brother, like he divorced his wife or something, or like if he had kids, he did, and the brother married his wife, right? The yibum is only when there's no kids. Basically, it's like being with his brother's wife when there's no heter of yibum. Once he did chalitza, that's how Reish Lakish is understanding. She becomes an erva. So the Gemara says, "V'le maleh chayve lavin hi v'chayve lavin b'nei chalitza v'yibum ninu." The Gemara says, why doesn't Rabbi Yochanan tell him that this woman who got chalitza, she's not an erva, there's just an isur. There's an isur lav to be with her. She's not an erva, and if she's not an erva to the other brothers, then she would require chalitza. So the Gemara says, lidvrav ka'amar le, meaning it's true. Rabbi Yochanan really does hold that she's not an erva, but he's just explaining according to the opinion of Reish Lakish. Meaning he said like this: according to me, says Rabbi Yochanan, this woman who received chalitza, she's not an erva. She's just an isur lav. So therefore, she requires chalitza. But according to you, that it's chayve kritut, that she's an isur erva. So then the reason it's not in our Mishnah is because there's no tsarat tzara. So now we're going to get into the machloket. It's funny. This was discussion first. Now the Gemara brings the background machloket. This you really need to know in order to understand the previous Gemara. So let's explain. So itmar hacholetz liivimto v'chazar v'kitsha. Somebody did chalitza to his yevama. He did chalitza to his sister-in-law, and then he went and was mekadesher. Okay, so for the guy who did chalitza, there's an isur to be mekadesher, because the pasuk says, make a drush. Yes, there's an isur. It's Rashi on the top of the page. Rashi brings the drasha. It says, look at Rashi v'chazar v'kitsha. It's kedai to read this Rashi inside. It's Rashi, the last wide line of Rashi on top. It says v'kiddushin tofsin ba. The kiddushin works for this woman. De'ena alav ela belav, because there's no karet here. So the kiddushin works. Tichtiv asher lo yivne et beit achiv. The pasuk says asher lo yivne et beit achiv, kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivne. We learn from that pasuk that he is not allowed to marry her basically after chalitza. It says kevan shelo bana. Once he refused to build the lineage of his brother, so shuv lo yivne. That's it. Once he did chalitza and he refused, he cannot do it anymore. He lost the opportunity for the yibum and no more. So
is this a similar issue to marrying mom's heir? It's a lav, but there's no kares.
Right. So kiddushin would work. It's like a kohen and a grusha, or any other isur that's not karet. Anytime it's not karet, the kiddushin works.
Not arayot.
Right. Not arayot of karet. So, so again. So itmar hacholetz livim to. Somebody does chalitza to this woman vechazar v'kitsha, and then he's mekadesher. Amar Reish Lakish. Who en chayav ala chalutza karet. Reish Lakish says between the guy who did yibum and the guy who did chalitza, and the woman who received the chalitza, there's no karet there. She's not an erva to him. V'ha'achin, but the brothers chayavin ala chalutza karet. The brothers have an isur karet to this woman. Al hatzara. Now, what about the co-wife of this woman? So bein hu bein ha'achim chayavin ala tzara karet. Whether the brothers, there's going to be karet. So according to Reish Lakish, the second chalitza is done, everyone reverts back to being eshet ach. There's an isur of eshet ach, which is karet. Except for the guy who did chalitza and the woman who received chalitza, for them it's only a lav. But any other, for the guy who did chalitza to one of the co-wives, or one of the brothers to any one of the wives, that's going to be karet. But the guy who did chalitza to the lady who received chalitza, that's not karet.
Co-wife is karet?
Yes, any time a woman does not need, is pitura from yibum or chalitza, and one of the brothers is with her, it's karet.
Co-wife is arayot, isn't arayot?
Yes, it is. It's the brother's wife. It's just the wife that didn't get chalitza. It's the brother's. The brother has 5 wives, so they're all called co-wives. He did chalitza to one of them. He's not allowed to be with any. They're all arayot on him. All the other ones. The one who he did chalitza to is a lav on him. This is the opinion of Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan is going to argue, but this is the opinion of Reish Lakish.
But if you have a 5 wife, the guy, the brother, could choose which one?
Yeah, to do yibum or chalitza. Yeah.
Yibum.
Yeah.
You could choose each one of them. Yeah?
He could do yibum on whichever one he wants, and it covers all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's see Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. So Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Ben hu ben ha'achin enan chayavin, lo ala chalutza karet, v'lo ala tzara karet. Rabbi Yochanan says there's no karet over here. Once yibum is done, nobody has karet, I'm sorry. Once chalitza is done, nobody has karet on anybody. They're all just isur lav. So the Gemara explains, "My ta'ama de Reish Lakish." What's Reish Lakish's reason that he holds that they're all karet? All the brothers are karet, except for the guy who did the chalitza to the woman who received the chalitza. So Amar Kura Asher lo yivne, kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivne. We said the pasuk says that once a person refuses to build his brother's household, then he loses the opportunity. He cannot do it anymore. There's an isur for him to do it. Ihuhu dekai below yivne. It's that brother that refused, that did the chalitza. He has the isur of lo yivne. He has the lav. Aval echav, but his brothers kedekaime kaime, they remain with the isur eshet ach. So what's happening over here in this, like if we look back at this photo, so you have Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So Shimon is the one that he did chalitza to Reuven's wife, and then he took her back, right? And then he married her. So once he did chalitza to this woman, says Reish Lakish that there's an isur of kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivne. Once he refused to build his brother's household, that's it. He can't do it anymore. So there's an isur between him and her. That's what Reish Lakish says. The isur is between this guy and this woman, the guy who did chalitza and this woman. All the other brothers, they don't have that isur. She is an erva on them. She goes back to being eshet ach. She goes back to being the wife of the brother, and she's an erva on them. That's how Reish Lakish learns. Okay, says Ve'ala didahu dekai. On so the that isur of kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivne. Sorry, va'ala dida hu dekai belo yivne. And the guy who has the isur of lo yivne, it's on that woman who he did chalitza to. Ha tzara, but the other co-wives of that woman, the other wives of Reuven, of the original brother, right? Let's say in this case Reuven had more than one wife in this picture. So kedekaime kaime, they are the way that they are. Those co-wives remain tzarot. They remain isurei arayot. They remain what's it called? Eshet ach.
But isn't there still a mitzvah of yibum? If yibum or chalitza were done on the co-wives, then there should still be a mitzvah of yibum.
No. So one yibum or one chalitza patters all the brothers and all the co-wives. You don't need to do yibum to each wife. If Reuven died and he had 8 wives, you do yibum on one, and that covers everybody. The tzarot are all piturot. They could go marry whoever they want.
Once you do yibum with one wife, then everyone else goes out free.
Correct. Okay.
Free, not for the brothers anymore, because it's the brother's wife.
Correct.
So
For somebody stranger.
Two brothers can't marry 2 co-wives?
Correct.
There's only one brother who gets one of the wives.
Yes. Okay, that was Reish Lakish's opinion. Rabbi Yochanan says, Mika midi de meikara, ibai hai chalitz, veibai hai chalitz, veibai hai lehai chalitz, veibai lehai chalitz, v'ashta kaya la bekaret. Rabbi Yochanan says, is it possible to have something? You have 5 brothers and you have 5 wives who fell to Yibum, right? One of the brothers had 5 wives and he died. So you have a few brothers and a few wives. In the beginning, at this point, any one of the brothers could do chalitza or yibum to any one of the wives, right? Brother number 1 could choose wife number 1. He could choose wife number 2, wife number 3, wife number 4. Brother number 2 could choose wife number 1, number 2, any one of them could do yibum to any one of them. And now it's going to all of a sudden be karet. Rabbi Yochanan says doesn't make sense. Ella ihu shelichuta de'achim ka'avid. The guy is the one who's doing the chalitza. He's like a shaliach of all the brothers. He's a representative of all the brothers. And ihi shelichuta de'tzara ka'avid. And the woman who is getting the chalitza done to her, she is the shlichuta. She's the shaliach of all the co-wives, all the wives. So in essence, that isur of kevan shelo bana shuv lo yivne, once he refused to rebuild his brother's household, he can't do it anymore. That isur is really on all the brothers. This guy is acting as a shaliach on behalf of all the brothers. So all the brothers ki'ilu did the chalitza through him. So all of them have that isur, and it's not karet, it's just a lav.
Somebody could do two of them.
What do you mean? You're talking about 2 from the same brother?
Yeah, 2 different brothers.
Yeah. If let's say somebody has 2 brothers that died, he does yibum. One brother died, he does yibum, and then later another brother died, does yibum. That's fine.
Yeah, not to do that.
Yeah. As far as I know, yeah. Okay. Eitve Rabbi Yochanan l'Reish Lakish. So Rabbi Yochanan asked a question against Reish Lakish. Hacholet le'ivimto, v'chazar v'kitsha v'met. So again, Rabbi Yochanan holds that this woman, all the brothers and all the wives, there's just a lav. There's no karet. So Rabbi Yochanan asked a question. It says, Hacholet le'ivimto v'chazar v'kitsha v'met. Somebody who did chalitza, and then he did kiddushin to her, and then he died. Tzricha chalitza mina achin. This woman needs chalitza. So it sounds like it's not karet. This marriage is she requires chalitza. So bishlam lidi damina chayve lavin ninu haynu tzricha chalitza mina achin. According to me, it makes sense. It's a lav, so she needs chalitza. El lidcha may tzricha chalitza. But according to you, Reish Lakish, that she's an erva. If she's an erva to the brother, she doesn't need chalitza. Any case of erva doesn't need chalitza. So if she's karet, she doesn't need chalitza. So Reish Lakish turns back and says, "Ultamech ema sefa." Let me tell you what it says in the Seifa, in the end of that Braita. It says, Amad echad mina achin v'kidsha. If one of the brothers was mikadesh this lady, ein la alav klum. The kiddushin is not a good kiddushin.
Which type of lady are we talking about here?
This woman who they did chalitza to. So brother number one did chalitza to this woman. A different brother came and he was mikadesh her. So ein lo alav klum. There's nothing there. There's no marriage. So within this Braita, we have a Reisha and a Seifa. The Reisha sounds like Rabbi Yochanan because it's saying if this lady who they did chalitza to her, one brother did chalitza to her and then he married her and then he died. So we say if this lady falls to Yibum, she has to, If this lady falls to Yibum, she requires chalitza. That makes sense only according to Rabbi Yochanan that she's not an erva. According to Reish Lakish, she should not have to do chalitza.
But even according to Reish Lakish, that case was just an Isra Lav.
But she is an erva to the other brothers. So if she falls to Yibum to the next brother, she's p'tura from Yibum and chalitza.
But isn't Yibum always pater Eishes Achid?
So let's explain the case more clearly. You have three brothers, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven died without children. His wife, Shimon did chalitza, and then he married her. And then Shimon died. Now this woman is going to Levi. According to Reish Lakish, this woman is an erva on Levi, and she should be petura from Yibum and chalitza. Because according to Reish Lakish, the lav is only between the guy who did chalitza.
She already made avera.
Yeah, but now her husband died. According to Reish Lakish, she is an erva on the third brother. There's only an Isra Lav between the guy who did the chalitza and the other wife. The wife who did whatever. The guy who did chalitza and the woman who did chalitza. But between everyone else, there's no Isra Lav. It's karet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one thing, maybe we'll stop here because we have to start Shachrit soon. But just to clarify, this is very, very important. Once we get this, we'll fly through the Gemara tomorrow. That according to Rabbi Yochanan, there's machlokes Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. According to Reish Lakish, there's an isur lav between the guy who did chalitza and the woman who had chalitza done to her. All other brothers and co-wives, they're all karet. Once it's like they're all in a limbo. Once there's chalitza done to one person, so then that like kind of reverts everyone back to being eshet ach, and there's an isur karet.
Right, but isn't Yevamot always takes precedent over Eishes Achiv? So now that she falls back in Yibum again, or becomes Yevamot again, according to Reish Lakish,
because once chalitza was done, then she's done with Yibum. She reverts to being an Eshet Ach Shelo Bimkom Mitzvah, which means Eshet Ach that Yibum doesn't apply to.
So it's a new Isser Karis that Yibum doesn't come in.
Okay, it's a good question. In the lumdus of it, how does it work?